Switch now to what's happening in Iran. The president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, used a massive pro-government rally in Tehran to boast that Iran is now a nuclear state and on the brink of having the means to produce weapons-grade uranium. He was addressing a crowd of tens of thousands of government supporters who turned out in the capital's Freedom Square to celebrate the 31st anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. But he didn't mention that nearby thousands of other Iranians were protesting the government. For more on what was happening there, we turn to Fox News foreign affairs analyst Alireza Jafarzadeh. Alireza, good to see you. What can you tell us about what was going on there? Because, of course, there's this information blackout in and out of Iran right now.
Absolutely, David. As you said, Tehran had blockaded all the foreign journalists. Even those who were present were only taken to the Freedom Square and then taken back. They were not allowed to move around. They were not allowed to go to other places in the country. The footage that you have seen came from the state-run media, and that's the only footage available to the outside world. But the reality is, on the ground, all the efforts of the Iranian regime, the Supreme Leader, the Revolutionary Guards, the besieged forces, all the effort they did to seal off the main Freedom Square and only allow the Revolutionary Guards and the besieged forces and their family members that were bussed in from various cities to show a hollow show of force for Ahmadinejad. None of that worked. Remember, before that, only a few days before that, the Iran regime had condemned a number of prominent dissident members to execution and imprisonment.
Let me just ask specifically, because we're seeing now pictures. Of course, a lot of these are from previous protests, but any country that tries to isolate itself from the world information community fails. It's never succeeded entirely. Are you able now to get information about what's happening on the streets right now in Iran?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because of now, it's different. You have all these cell phones. You have Twitter. You have Facebook. You have
So tell
Gmail,
us what you're hearing, Alireza.
What we're hearing is that, contrary to all the effort that the regime did, the vast majority of the population were opposed to the Iranian regime. They were expressing their voices very, very clearly and loudly. They shouted, "Death to the dictator, death to Khamenei, death to the down with the principle of the Velayat Faqih," that's the clerical system. They clashed with the Revolutionary Guards despite all the measures that Tehran had done. They put the motorcycles of the besieged forces on fire, and they confronted it. About 10,000 of them marched towards the notorious Evin prison, where the political prisoners are held, and a number of them, about a couple dozen of them, have been condemned to death, including members of the organized opposition.
Now, Alireza, are you hearing anything right now about violence, that is, the government or some of their goons shooting into the crowd of protesters?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, what Tehran did this time, unlike the previous times, they put everything under the control of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, the IRGC. There were many reports of them shooting into the crowd, firing tear gas, beating people up. A number of people have been injured. As many as 500 people, that's a very conservative number, have been arrested in various parts of Tehran, and God knows what's going to happen to them, because
we know what's going to happen because they have
harshly.
A track record now. What's going to happen is they're going to be beaten up in prison. Some of them are actually going to be executed. Alireza, we have to go, but I just want to ask, what do the Iranian dissidents want President Obama to do that he's not doing? We only have 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Well, in 10 seconds, what the president must do is to side with the Iranian people, to side with the organized opposition, clearly and explicitly condemning the death sentences, condemning the treatment that they're doing, and removing all the bans against the Iranian opposition, reaching out to the Iranian opposition and not the Iranian regime.
Alireza Jafarzadeh, good to see you, Alireza. Thank you very much.